Hey, what's up, folks? How we doing? I know we got the wrong background, but there we go. Marcus, Jamie, how are you?
I'm good.
Good, good. Marcus.
Whose house? Cougs house. Let's go win a natty. Let's go
All
Cougs.
right, all right. So, obviously we're doing our UFL coverage tonight, and we have a special guest tonight with us. Glad he's always welcome back on the show, and yeah, let's bring him right in. Ace, how are you, sir?
I'm good, man. Thank you guys for having me on. It's been a while. You guys took a year off. I thought you left. I was like, man, they weren't in for the springtime, I guess.
Um, yeah, like I said, we ran into some difficulties and managed to work things out, Ace, and we're back. We're
Yes,
rolling.
we
We're
are.
getting our foot back in the door. Jamie's the one that really keeps up with the UFL. This is kind of his spring league thing.
Yes, he
Um,
does.
Obviously, as you know, he asked you to. He writes about it. I do still talk to Luke too, just to let you know. I don't know if you guys do or don't.
Nah, I don't. You mean Luke Miller?
Yeah, a
Yes.
stallion guy.
I see him. What, the last time I saw him was the championship game for the UFL last season.
Oh, you
He
guys did go. You guys did go last time I saw all you guys
Yep.
was at the USFL championship.
Yes, season 2, I saw you. No, last year my wife and I made it out to St. Louis. Her childhood best friend lives there, so we went and we made it a whole trip. Visited her. It was a great time. I really enjoyed it, even though it was another Stallions win. I only see the Stallions win, but it's whatever.
That's all I've seen win too. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Thank.
But I most really like you guys because the national championship's on tonight. But I'm right here, man. I know
Right,
Marcus.
right.
He's got the Cougs on. Oh, I get it. I get it. At least, hopefully, one Houston team can win for him.
Maybe two this year. The Rockets been killing it too.
There you go.
They've had a hell of
Um,
the whole city had a hell of a weekend. Rockets had two big wins. They beat OKC and Golden State. The Dynamo finally got a win this season, and then Houston pulled the biggest upset, beating Duke, shattering people's
Shattered my
national
bracket.
championship hopes. My bracket was already shattered, but Michigan State was the only one I had that didn't make the Final Four. I had this game as my championship game, and now I had like a 93% on my tournament championship bracket for this season. For the whole tournament, I had a 93% grade.
That's crazy.
good. If Michigan State would have went to the Final Four, I would have. If they would have won it, I would have won my bracket.
I tell you what's crazy. I only lost 3 games in the first round, and yes, I picked my backyard college, McNeese, over Clemson.
I picked McNeese too, just to let you know. Anyway, we're well off topic. We only got Ace for a little bit. I'm sure he wants to get back. Ace, if you got a TV on the side, man, you want to put the game on, you can.
I do have a TV in here, but I think it would screw up my lighting. So I'm gonna let this ride.
All right, all right. Ace, obviously, tell people again who you are, what you're from, where you are, and I guess you could say the people on your squad too, if you want to.
Sure, yeah. I'm Ace. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram. It's right there, Ace UFM and Ace_UFM. I am a UFL and Roughnecks insider, have been for the past 4 years. I'm a founding member of United Football Media. We are media credentialed in most of the stadiums for the UFL. We got a great crew over there. We got a bunch of shows on our YouTube, United Football Media. We got shows for everything. We got the Roughnecks. We got the Brahmas. We got the Defenders. We got the Boats. We got the Battlehawks. And we have shows covering the whole league. So we give you everything we can. And then, like I said, I'm an insider for Houston games. I'm down on the field. I know all the coaches and players. So usually I'm able to get some information that the league doesn't necessarily send out there, because a smaller, newer league like this doesn't necessarily have the most, outward presenting media, and they're not necessarily putting things out there as quickly as they could. So I try to get it out there.
I got a
So
question.
is
ever got
Webb
to meet-
still on your crew?
What was that?
Is Webb still on your crew?
Webb is he's like fringe right now. He's very busy. He's coaching his daughter's basketball, and it's a traveling tournament team, and it's very intense. It's very time consuming. So he knew he couldn't commit to a show. So he's more kind of trolling on Twitter right now. But Webb's always there.
I was just wondering because I've been texting him too, and I knew that, but I just wanted to, I wanted to hear the boss say it.
Web can say he wants
Your question, bud.
He'll never leave. That's my
No,
guy.
Webb's a good
Well,
dude.
what was your question, Marcus?
You ever met The Rock?
Oh my gosh. So I don't know if you saw, I actually sent an update on The Rock when he didn't come to the UFL opener. I got an email. It was like media availability press conference with Danny Garcia and The Rock. I was very excited. And then an hour later, we got another email that said revised media availability. Instead, it's going to be Danny Garcia and Russ Brandon. So when that happened, everybody started tweeting out, The Rock's not coming. The Rock thinks the league's failing, blah, 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 blah. And I was kind of like, I thought I was going to get to meet The Rock in person. But then when I got there, I ended up running into Danny on the field. She came up and introduced herself to me and told me why The Rock wasn't there, about his flight malfunctioning and having to emergency land in Hawaii. So I actually got to post about that, which was really cool. I was the person who broke that news. And then like 4 hours later, The Rock posted a video confirming what I said. So that was really cool. And then I got to be in the press conference.
When I read the article, I saw that and I was like, okay, that explains why he wasn't on TV. Off when I watched the week 1 game against the Renegades. I'm like, where's the final boss? He's not going to be on SmackDown this week. He was supposed to be there. Yeah, but so I saw him a couple months ago when SmackDown came to New Orleans, but I was up in the Raptors as a fan.
That counts, man.
I've seen him a lot. Yeah, I've seen him quite often, being a wrestling junkie and everything.
Yeah, because I saw him at the opener last year in Arlington. I didn't get close to him at all, but I saw him in person there. So we're about the same. So me and you, Marcus.
Word.
I've never met the Rock. Jamie, how about you?
No, I've never actually met The Rock in person. I haven't.
Someday, Jamie. Someday.
I've met some couple members of. I never met nobody from College Game Day, but I've been to College Game Day a few times. I was on the barricade watching it, but I've been to SEC Nation. I met Marcus Spears. I've met we called him Dumbo ears, but we met Paul Feinbaum. I've met Tim Tebow. What was the chick's name? I met her too. I met almost the whole crew from SEC Nation, but not
Alyssa Lang or whatever.
Yeah, her. We got to meet her too.
Sideline reporter, yeah.
All right. Wild. I feel this is more of a fun interview with you, Ace, than anything.
During the opener last week, I ran into a bunch of people. I talked to Dean Blandino on the field before the game. At halftime, I was doing a video.
Dean's great. I've never met him, but he's
taller than you think. He crouched down to take a photo with me, but I asked him if he was going to be the one doing the rules officiating during the game, being the live person in the booth, and he was like, "No, Mike's got it today. I'm just here to be here for the opener." I ran into Joel Klatt and Kurt Menefee at halftime because the press box in Houston, you have to pass where they're announcing. And during halftime, they came out and they were just kind of chopping it up. So I walked by actually shooting a video that Kurt Menefee photobombed. So that was cool. Just they're all really, really nice people. So it was really cool. I wouldn't say we're friends or anything. I wouldn't say I'm on a first name basis with any of them, but it was cool to, just meet them at all. So it's a cool thing. The UFL is a league of opportunity, not just for, the players, the coaches, but also the fans and people who want to get into covering sports.
Do you have any information on expansion by chance? Anything coming to Pittsburgh?
Dude. So that's kind of all over the place. So the biggest thing is that we've heard from people inside the organization up top that everybody is not on the same page. And I think that is so apparent because when I did that press conference before the opener with Danny Garcia and Russ Brandon, I specifically asked, you guys announced expansion as early as 2026. What are you seeing that made you move the timeline up to what is a relatively short timeline for expansion when, just a year ago, you had to merge leagues? And Russ Brandon specified that we did not put a timeline on it, right? He's like, we did not say 2026. We didn't say 2027. We just said that we're opening it up. And Danny said, we wanted to get the word out there because the process takes a long time. And, Russ said they were overwhelmed and super gracious and happy about the number of cities and markets that reached out and put in applications. So there's definitely interest from cities. but he made it sound like, he was trying to talk down the fact that I said 2026 and be like, whoa, don't be putting that out there. And then another league head, I cannot remember his name off the top of my head, but he had a media, and James Larson of Pro Football Newsroom was there. And he said that they are highly likely to do expansion in 2026. So executives are kind of saying opposite things of each other. And that's surprising to me. You would think that they would want to be on the same page, especially, they have so much media preparation and training that they wouldn't say things that were kind of negating each other, but they are. So I'm hopeful.
James
I think it'd
Larson,
be cool.
is Larson part of you guys or no?
No. Larson is over in Pro Football Newsroom. We have a working relationship with them. At the opener, I ran into Zach, the ref, Ducky, ran into all those guys, James Baker. And I don't know if you guys see, his name's Jake Milligan. He makes like the cards that all the players sign. Like he makes custom cards, football cards. Sat with all of them for like the first quarter before I went up into the media box, because I wanted to watch the game on my laptop while watching it live from the press box so that I could hear what Joel Klatt and Kurt Menefee were saying, because I'm a Joel Klatt stan, man. I love everything he says.
Sweet.
I do too.
See, Jamie, football guy. But what did you guys think?
Football podcast.
His podcast is cool.
Mm-hmm.
But what did you guys think of the first 2 weeks, right? I mean, Adam, you like the showboats. What do you think? They're 1-1 or 0-2, but a promising
0-2.
Promising 0-2.
They showed some promise. They showed some promise this week. Maybe getting Whisenhunt back behind the helmet is going to generate more on this team. They just missed a couple plays against DC this weekend. I felt they should have won this game. I mean,
I thought
Jordan Tamu was throwing all over the place. He seemed to have trouble hitting the side of a barn until the end of that game when he made that deep pass.
The Memphis Showboats, aka all the ex
the Memphis Maulers.
The Memphis Maulers.
Yeah, man.
Jared
I do still text Tarpley, even though he's a Panther.
I was even though I'm covering DC, I screamed when Boogie Roberts sacked
when he sacked Tamu. Yeah, man.
Did you see Boogie liked the comment inside your comment yesterday?
Inside my comment? What was or Jamie's comment?
You posted something about the sack thing. Best sack, and then I posted Boogie's sack, and he hit like on the sack.
That might have been. I didn't post. That might have been the UFM account. Was it like our?
I thought it was
network
you.
Account.
It might have been, but Boogie liked.
I think he's a trip.
Boogie liked it, so I didn't know if you saw that. I don't know if you saw that or not.
I'll give you guys a little bit of like a cool behind the scenes thing of something that almost happened. Is that last year when the UFL first started, all the players live in Arlington, and Boogie Roberts, when he was signed to the DC Defenders last year, he didn't end up playing the season, but he was in their training camp, and he posted, should I do a UFL podcast and have like players on and stuff? And he reached out to Webb actually, because him and Webb have a good relationship. And he was like, do you know anybody who could be a producer for this show and help me do the whole thing? And Webb told him me, which I know Boogie. And so Boogie just DM'd me immediately. And he was like, hey man, are you interested? And we had gotten to the point where I'd created a whole list of everything we were going to need for this show. I was going to drive up to Arlington weekly to do this show. We were going to set up a studio in a house that he was going to rent. I'd given him a whole rundown and price of everything we were going to need. And I was going to kind of be like, when you watch the Joe Rogan show, when he's like, hey, Jamie, pull that up and stuff. I was going to be Boogie's Jamie. And we were going to have this whole show. Toby Johnson wanted to co-host with him. Scooby Wright reached out to try and co-host with him. And it was going to be really cool. He unfortunately ended up being cut by DC, but that was something that I had my hands in. I was very excited for.
I like Boogie. Boogie was a fun interview for me.
He's
fun
a great
conversation.
Guy,
he was a fun conversation whenever he was on.
He's a fun dude.
What about Scooby's signature shark dog thing or whatever?
The shark dog thing, man. I like the fact that this league had players like Scooby that would do things like that. Scooby, Darius Victor, that would have cool things like Thick Thighs Save Lives, Shark Dog. Those are things that really fans can build on and create a camaraderie around. So I really enjoyed that kind of stuff. But I think the Showboats, like you said, Ken Whisenhunt coming back. Shout out to Adam Vernieri. Impressive to go out there, or TJ Vernieri. TJ Vernieri went out there and he had never called a professional football game as an offensive coordinator up in the booth. And he went out there and he put together a competitive offense against the Panthers week 1. That's
when
just
you have
so
EJ
wildly
Perry
impressive.
as your quarterback. I mean, that helps.
Just
he's a freaking spitball firecracker when you hear him when he's mic'd up. He's always like screaming like challenge it, get to the line. He's a smart guy.
EJ Perry, Webb and the captain actually did an interview with him before this season. It ended up that the audio got messed up, but EJ is a very cool guy. He knows football very well. He's the son of a football coach, and so I think that they're in good hands. I thought EJ came more to life once Whisenhunt was calling it. Maybe it's just because they had a week under their belt. Maybe it's because Whisenhunt understands the offensive capabilities a little more. And TJ Vernieri, it was his first time. So the fact that they were competitive at all is so impressive to me. But having Whisenhunt back felt different.
I felt that this team was more built like the 2008 Cardinals.
Kind of, yeah.
And that's what Whisenhunt, took to the Super Bowl. Obviously, but they lost to the Steelers on that Santonio Holmes great catch.
Where he was the offensive coordinator for Pittsburgh, the Steelers.
Dude, that season, that was my first ever NFL game I ever saw. First ever regular season NFL game was I went and saw, my grandpa bought me this Adrian Peterson jersey, and we drove to Arizona from El Paso, Texas, and we watched the Vikings beat the crap out of the Cardinals that season. Early on in the season, Adrian Peterson, Bernard Berrien, Tavares Jackson, rest in peace. Like, we beat the tar off them, and they went to the Super Bowl that year. That was crazy. So I was fully on the Cardinals.
They got in as the last wild card team, I believe.
And then
it was just one of those that get on at the end.
No, they won the division, and I was about to say, I think that's why it was
a bad division.
Was weak.
But it was a horrible. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, the record was not very good.
They were 9-7.
Larry Fitzgerald, man. Larry Fitzgerald, born in Minnesota, just like I was.
They had they had Boston too. They had Boston on that team.
They were 9-7, Adam, but they won the division because their division was bad that year.
There you go. But here, let's talk about my team, the Houston Roughnecks, man. It's it's a rough time being a Roughnecks fan.
This is you and Marcus, not me.
0-2 team. Marcus, what did you see through the first 2 weeks? What do you like? Let's go with that. Let's talk about positives.
I don't know if you want to call this a rivalry, but I thought they played more. I said they played more better than they did week 1, but the numbers might not show it because they're compared to what they had like week 1. Like, yeah, they may have had more total rushing yards against the Battlehawks than they did against the Renegades. They had 63 against them, where they had 94 against the Battlehawks, but passing yards, they were just shy, not far from being that high. They had 170 against the Battlehawks, but they had 162 against the Renegades. Now they only had 1 turnover, not 2. Their only touchdown came late in the game when Anthony Brown threw a pass to Emmanuel Butler for 17 yards. Even though they did do a quarterback change at one point, Nolan got in there. What?
Did Anthony Brown catch a pass off a deflection and take it for 33 yards or something?
Not that I saw. I was there. I thought that was crazy. I think there's a
because it says that he caught a pass for 33 yards, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, he did not do that.
If you look at the UFL stats on,
but no, I agree with you that they did play better in week 2. The stats in week 1 are deceiving because a lot of the offensive stats came from the fourth quarter. Nolan Henderson came in. They were playing very soft shell coverage. The Battlehawks were. He was able to run around a lot, and he got a lot of garbage time passing yards. Not to degrade anything that Nolan did, because I think he's a very good quarterback.
He did get a 2-point conversion.
Yes,
he had a 5-point.
but the fact that it happened so late while we were already getting blown out. That I take less into account than when the game against Arlington, it was competitive the entire time. Every single yard that they got was contested. It was a yard that the Arlington Renegades were fighting full force trying to stop. So I think in week 2, did Anthony Brown have a great game? No, it wasn't an amazing game. It was okay at best, but it was so much better than what he did week 1. I was in the press box week 1, and the media guy walks over, and at the end of every quarter, they print out the stats and they hand them to everybody in there. They handed it to me, and I was like, this is insane. I might have it right here.
But this is the second week in a row that Anthony Brown led in rushing and passing. He had 20 yards, averaging 6.7 per carry, but his longest was 13 yards.
I think he needs to run more. I actually asked him about that. He did week 1.
Hey, he also leads in receiving. He had 37. That's probably where he got that from, but there wasn't no touchdown. He has, they said his longest reception was 37 yards. So that play Adam was talking about was it, except it wasn't a touchdown.
Yeah. But I mean, week 1, he played a full 3 quarters, Anthony Brown, and he had 21 pass yards, which is so incredibly bad that in the post-game press conference, I read his stats to him to ask him about the game. And I almost stopped midway because I was like, this is brutal. You went, what was it? I was like, you went 5 for 11. You had 21 yards. Oh God. I was like, why am I reading this? Yeah. I was like, you went 5
what
for
did
11.
He say?
You had
what
2
did he say?
With 21 yards. I was like, what do you think you could do better other than everything? I felt so bad. I apologized to him afterwards. I went up to him after the press conference. I was like, hey man, I hope you don't think I was attacking you. I was just reading your stats, because they handed me the stat sheet right before Anthony and CJ walked out to talk to the press. And in Houston, there's not a lot of media, especially for a late game. That game ended like 10:45 p.m. And so it was just me in the press conference. It was just me sitting there. And I told the media woman, wonderful woman, Brittany, I was like, hey, I don't have questions, like that many questions. Like I didn't even prepare questions for Anthony Becht because I thought there would be other people. She was like, you're going to do great. I was like, awesome. So I was just making things up as I went. If you go listen to those press conferences on YouTube, it's literally just me asking questions to both coaches. And I felt bad to Anthony. I don't remember what he said. I think I mean, the look he gave me, if looks could kill, he was like, I did bad. He was like, I got to make better decisions. And I think he did this week. The fact that,
maybe you were his wake up call.
I don't know, man. I felt bad. I really felt bad. I apologized after. I was like, I hope you don't feel like I'm attacking you. Jamie, what's up?
Oh, nothing.
I saw you raise your hand. I thought you had a question.
I gotta ask though. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's still a fun environment. Like I still have not yet attended a game. I will one day, especially with those prices and merch. How expensive is merch? I need a Roughnecks hat so bad, more than ever. I got a shirt. It's in the closet. I got it off Amazon.
Roughnecks hats. You can definitely get a hat. I got an old 2020 XFL hat for like $20. My wife actually wore it to the game this weekend.
I want the navy one, the new one.
Yeah.
That old coach wore on week 1. And I even see Bun B wore one when he was promoting his Trail Tenders.
Are you talking about
that's the one I need, the blue one.
Did it have a New Era symbol on it?
Yes. It was on the side.
Okay, that's a new one. Because when the leagues first merged, they put out the merch and everything, and I got the trucker hat. Then I got their military appreciation hat. I'm a veteran myself, so I was like, I want to get this hat. And it's the most comfortable one. Like, that's a super nice Under Armour hat. But I would like a New Era one. The merch, about as normal, definitely cheaper than if you went to like a Major League Baseball game or something. You're going to spend like $35 as opposed to, I bought a Cubs hat at Wrigley one time for like $55. So wow. Yeah, it's better than that.
I'm going to try. I'm going to try and go to one. Because it's going to be crazy trying to pull 2 weekends in Houston in May, because I'm already going the second weekend of May. I'm going to the Dynamo Sounders matchup. But it's like, I either want to go May 3rd against the Showboats, or I want to go week 9 against the Defenders. That's 2 games I'm shooting at right now.
Oh, I'll be at week 9. Unfortunately, I'll be at an Army training, and I'm not going to be at the one May 3rd. hopefully there's someone else there to ask the coaches questions. But man, I don't know. If you want to see more scoring, I'd probably go week 9 because I think against Memphis it's going to be a real low scoring game.
Oh, that'll be week. That's not week 9. That one is week. What is it? 5? Week
no, I'm
6.
saying week 9 for the defenders. I think that would be more scoring. Whereas if you go watch them against the Showboats, I think they're likely, like, that's a decent likelihood to actually win a game. You might actually see a Roughnecks win. I'm yet to see the Houston spring team win in person. I didn't see the Gamblers win in person. I'm yet to see the Roughnecks win in person.
I claimed them the 2020 uncrowned UFL, the XFL champions because of COVID. I think they would have won it. I think they'd have won it if COVID wouldn't have happened. I think they'd have won.
Yeah, because you had PJ Walker.
Yeah.
They were undefeated when the pandemic happened. They were 7-0.
Yeah, and they actually, so Avery Genesee and linebacker Drew Lewis, both of those players are on the Roughnecks right now, and they were on the Roughnecks in 2020.
I miss those helmets they used to have. I miss the uniform combination they used to have.
Why are former NFL players not like shining really bright in this league yet?
What do you mean?
But I know Balaj went off on week 1, but that was only because of that long run. But you guys shut him down. You guys shut him down really good.
Not really. The reason that he didn't get more yards is
yards on 12 carries
because they pulled him out. He looked good. Every time he ran up the middle, he was getting like 4 or 5 yards. But we broke his face mask. So that's why Day, the other running back, he came in and he ended up having more yards because once Balaj broke his helmet, they don't have spare helmets. This isn't the NFL.
Yeah, I saw his face mask. His face mask
came down.
He was upset. Like he was furious.
They couldn't like re-screw it in or whatever.
They not on the sideline. They didn't have the stuff for it. And so Day took the rest of the snaps and he looked good too. Up the middle. I don't know why they were trying sweeps ever. Balaj was not doing well on the outside, but anytime they ran it up the middle, they were doing well. So I think the fact that Balaj got hurt was it helped us stay in that game because he was cruising to bust one off, man. That dude's good. But the Roughnecks, the defense looks better. The offense shows glimpses of life. Do I think we'll go winless? No. Do I think we're going to make the playoffs? Probably not.
No.
But I think we could still be fun to watch. Now, when you're talking about playoffs and stuff, the DC Defenders, the St. Louis Battlehawks, the Birmingham Stallions, those are 3 teams. I mean, right now, the way they look, they're in the playoffs.
I think it's going to be Renegades and the Stallions in one conference semifinal, Defenders, Battlehawks in the other one. But I will say that Defenders Showboats game was a hell of a game to watch. I kept thinking about both of y'all above me. I said, who's going to have the last laugh? Because I kept thinking about Adam Moore. I said, boy, I bet Adam's on the edge of his seat watching Memphis trying to make a comeback or take a lead. And
when AJ Perry scored, I was like, okay, they got the lead. Let's see if they can hold it. And then
when DC took that lead,
Jamie connects on 2 passes and he's down at the 8-yard line.
Marcus, the Renegades wouldn't be playing the Stallions.
Yeah, they're in the XFL conference.
The Renegades are in the XFL. You mean probably Michigan and the Stallions, I would say. Again, just like last year.
Maybe so. Well,
yeah, right now, I mean, the Defenders and the Battlehawks are on a crash
I think it's Michigan. I think it's Michigan Stallions.
Probably.
In the USFL and then DC and Battlehawks.
Or Ace, you're on here. I don't understand why they have Memphis in last place when they have.
I don't know. They had the Roughnecks.
When they have the points for lead, how do they do this? Because that threw us off last week. After I was like, wait, Memphis scored more points.
I don't know.
Than the Roughnecks. Why are they not above them? And I just didn't understand that.
Yeah, I don't know. The league posted that.
Things up.
I saw what you're talking about, where the league posted the standings in the conferences, and I think it's just because they're equal. Definitely, the Roughnecks are last right now. They're even last in every power ranking I've seen. Even though yesterday, I think if yesterday the Brahmas had taken the Roughnecks on, that the Roughnecks would have won. That's my personal opinion. And I mean, I've ranked the Roughnecks as last in the league my past like 9 power rankings. But yesterday, I truly thought that they would have won if they took on the Brahmas. The Brahmas have not clicked. They're not getting it together. Kellen Mond, I mean, he has like 1 or 2 passes a game where he looks like what he looked like in college. And then the rest, he's off target. He looks uncomfortable. He's not using his legs enough. Their defense is not getting it done, which is wild because the Wade Phillips defense, the past 2 seasons in spring football have been the best defense in the league. And this year, they don't look good. They had a lot of players out. Prince Emili up the middle at defensive tackle definitely would help with the run game. And then Greedy Williams immediately getting hurt doesn't help them. But they got to figure it out because right now I think the Brahmas are head and shoulders the worst team in the league.
I saw the rankings. They got the Roughnecks dead last overall.
Makes sense. Makes sense, man. We are not good. Offensively, we haven't figured it out.
I think it's the Brahmas. Wasn't Brahmas second to last?
Should be.
Should be, but everyone has the boats.
I don't get that because the boats, I think they have second or third best defense in the league. You know, DC's defense is pretty good. I think it's about the same as Memphis. And then the Birmingham defense is lights out. But I think the Battlehawks defense is probably number 4, but I think the Boats is easily 2 or 3. So the fact that people are trying to put them as 7 or even 6, you know, at this point, I think they're probably better than the Panthers. If they had met up week 2 instead of week 1, I think I would put my money on the Showboats. But
I think also if they would have been changing quarterbacks left and right in that first game, the Boats, I think they might have had a better chance.
Yeah, the fact that they stuck with EJ Perry all game, say what you want about EJ Perry, the consistency helps. Letting someone get into a rhythm, start feeling it. Whereas when you're switching them out, that's my biggest problem with the Panthers, and pretty much everybody's biggest problem with the Panthers, is that Bryce Perkins has outplayed Danny Etling completely. His stats are better. He looks better on the field.
Way better.
Danny Etling, his completion percentage is in like the 40s. So the fact that they keep swapping them, and then, you know, Mike Nolan, who is my favorite coach in this league, probably, like, I think he's one of the greatest minds. He's a good coach. His players would run through a brick wall for him. I love Mike Nolan up in Michigan. And the fact that he's still doing this, and he says that one quarterback is not pulled away yet, that's the one mistake I think he's making. If he had just stuck with Bryce Perkins, I think they have a decent chance at winning against the Stallions. They were like one solid pass away from getting there. You know, they had Matt Corral threw that one deep pass to Deion Kane, and that kind of sealed it. But other than that, they were in the game the whole time.
I think it's dumb. Like, why, if teams are going to go for 2, why not just go for 3? Go for 3 every time and get more yards. Like, it's easier to throw from the 10 than it is from the 2.
I mean, you create a little more space. It's definitely harder to cover when you have more space like that. People do want to stand on the goal line, but then you can do more pick routes and everything. I don't know. The 3-point is hard, but I would like to see more teams going for it, especially when they're down and, you know, it's, hey, you can try and win with a 3-point conversion or tie it up with a 2. Like yesterday, the Roughnecks could have won the game if they made a 3-point conversion. And instead, they went for 2 to try and tie it up. And then we have Anthony Brown hold the ball too long and scramble and not make it in, and we lose the game. So I would like to see teams be a little more aggressive, especially if you're going to go for the 4th and 12 anyway. Why not go for the win right there?
Yeah, it is. I just didn't understand that because the Stallions are 92% going for 2 points every time.
Every time, man. The Stallions are well.
Why not just go for 3? I mean, it don't make any sense.
Yeah, I would say consistency is the name of the game in spring football, especially when it comes to your roster. So if you look at the 3 best teams right now, it's the Battlehawks, the DC Defenders, and the Birmingham Stallions. A big part of that is that the Stallions have a lot of players that they've had since 2022 in the USFL. When you've played with someone that long, you're going to be a better team than, say, the Roughnecks, who a lot of those players, it was their first time suiting up together outside of training camp.
Have you gotten any inside information on Magoo?
On Magoo? No, I haven't heard anything. I mean, he was cleared to play. Like, if you had bet on his overs during that game, you didn't get your money back or anything because he was never ruled out. He said he could come back in, and Skip said, no, I want to make sure that I have you for the rest of the season. So I would assume that if he's going to miss any time, it's probably going to be about a week. I think his shoulder just popped out and they put it and went right back in. I think that was the problem. So I'd be surprised. I don't think they're going to put them on IR or anything, but I don't know. I think they're fine, especially when they have 3 starting quarterbacks. If you put Matt Corral or Case Cookus behind a decent offensive line, you're going to win games. So
Matt Corral did a hell of a job coming in.
He did.
Sure.
I think the only person stopping Matt Corral at this point is Matt Corral. He just needs to get his head straight and, act like he wants it.
Right, right.
Yeah. But, yeah. What other questions you got? We got a little time.
Jamie, Mark.
Well, I could go ahead and say, me and Jamie tied this week, 4-0 in the picks. You went 3-1, but let's see how we did with the attendances. If there's
guys
a
got some attendances?
numbers,
We tried. We
tried for St. Louis for sure, but we ended up doing all 4 games.
Okay, what'd you guys say?
So for what was Friday's game, Panthers and the Stallions.
So let's get into this. It was the opener for the Detroit Tigers, and during the day, and I was like, everyone's just going to go to the game. So that's why I have a huge attendance for this game, and I don't think it was anywhere near it.
Well, it was their highest attendance they've had thus far. They broke 10,000. It was the first time they've done that.
So they went over 10,000. I predicted 10,000 for Detroit.
Nice, you hit it.
Adam said 25,000, and Jamie said 20,000.
You guys, that's way too much. I probably would have guessed 9.
You heard the way I was thinking, though. I was thinking everyone from the Detroit game. Hey, let's go. Let's cheer on our team.
They should have paid people like those cash for gold signs, like woo woo woo, flipping signs.
That's what I was saying. Why didn't they pass out free tickets during
they
pass out free tickets during the Detroit opener?
Dude, they should have just handed out. Yeah, they should have
just handed out. That's the way I was thinking for that game, guys. Just to let you know.
So let's see how
I overbid.
Let's see how the other 3 went. So for the DC game, DC.
So wait, hold on, real quick. Ace, did you have any predictions on attendance this weekend?
I did not.
Did not.
Okay.
All right, so you guys don't. So we just got bored and looked at it. We were like, let's guess.
For DC, Jamie said sold out crowd. Adam said 17,000. I said 16,000. I don't know if we're even.
It ended up being 13.
For the Dallas game,
Price is Right. You all went over.
So for Dallas, for the Renegades Roughnecks game, I said 4,000. Jamie said 5.
Closer.
Adam said 6.
So the fact that they reported 9,000 at that game, I was there. Mike Mitchell, he posted the attendance that it's technically off ticket sales, right? So it was 9,000. Okay. And then I quote tweeted it and I put a video that I took at the game mid 4th quarter of the crowd. I would guess about 2,500 were there. And Mike
Adam
texted me.
Yeah.
So Mike Mitchell texted me. He was like, did they tell any, like in the press conference or anything, did they give you a number of actual like tickets scanned? How many people were there? I was like, no, they didn't send anything like that. But yeah, I think it was about 2,500, 3K at max, but they reported 9. So Adam, you were the closest.
And then finally for St. Louis, I said 35,000. Adam said 26,000. Jamie said 38,000.
So Price is Right. Adam got that one. You were the closest, Marcus, but you went over.
So
it was 32.
So who had the closest for DC?
For 13,000?
You did.
Okay, then
I did. You did, Marcus.
Okay, so that's 2-2 for me and Adam.
There you go. Well, real quick, before I gotta go, run through this week's games. You guys tell me who you think's gonna win. And I'm just gonna throw a bet on it.
Friday night football, we got the Arlington Renegades at the Birmingham Stallions. Friday night football, I think it's on Fox too. So
yes, I believe most of the Friday night games, if not all of them, are on Fox.
Yeah. Some are Fox, some are ABC, some are FS1, some are ESPN, some are ABC, but this one's on Fox. Every Friday night game is on Fox.
I think the Friday night games are all on Fox.
Yeah. But who you got?
Renegade Stallions. Who you got?
I'm taking the Stallions.
Jamie.
Birmingham.
All right, Marcus.
Wait, Jamie picked who? I'm tallying all.
They both picked the Stallions.
Yeah, just the fact that we know the Stallions' history, 3-peat, trying to go for Birmingham's a good crowd. It's their home opener, taking on a tough Renegade team. I'm also going to say the Stallions. Also,
I'm saying this one's going to be sold out too.
Oh yeah, I don't even know.
At Protective?
I thought it was
Yeah.
Progressive Field. Oh, it's Protective Stadium.
Protective Stadium. I'm going to say 9,000.
Okay, so we're doing attendances as well.
Sure.
Yeah, why not? Knock it all out in one shot. Why not?
They had 14,000 last year, Birmingham.
9,000.
Let me see what their capacity is so I can take a wild guess of here, because I know
The
they
capacity
probably
of
fill out.
Protective?
They probably could get more fans than UAB. So their
I don't know.
capacity is 47,000 capacity. Oh yeah, they're done. I'm gonna say 10. I'm gonna say 10,000.
Yeah, they one side of Protective they don't open up. You can only sit on half of it.
Okay,
So we
well,
can
I'll
only
say
see
10,000.
22,000, or
Do what?
do they shut it down to 22,000, or do they shut it down
Yeah.
further than
Oh
that?
yeah, they shut it down. I mean, they probably shut it down to like 20, if not less.
I'll say 11,000.
All right, so I said 9. Marcus said 10. Jamie says
Well,
11.
I'm gonna go up a bit just because it's a
Okay.
Friday night. I'll say 15,000.
15.
Okay,
I was
got
thinking 15, but I can't do that. I'll go 14.
Say 15.5. Be like 15,500.
16,001.
Yeah, right. Price is right. 15,001.
All right, so you're going 14. Jamie, what's yours?
11,000.
11, and then Ace got 9,000. Okay,
Yup.
and then
Then we
on,
got the Roughnecks and the boats.
only Saturday game too, by the way. Roughnecks Showboats 1:30 kickoff on ESPN, and it's at the Liberty Bowl.
Mhm.
Somebody's gonna get their first win, and the
Yes.
other's gonna
I think
remain
only a
winless.
measly 3,000 or 4,000.
I would say 4,000. I'll go 4,500. 4,500 for Memphis, but that's another stadium. They shut down half of the Liberty Bowl.
Yeah,
the side they shut
renovating.
down, actually, they're renovating too. They had it shut down the past 2 seasons. Don't get me wrong. It was
The
still
Liberty-
shut down that side.
When they played the Liberty Bowl, it looked so strange.
It does. There's a whole section that's just like gone.
But I saw what the project is, and it's going to be kick-ass when it's complete.
If only
it's gonna
Memphis
take-
was a better city.
If it's going to take some capacity away, but I mean, it's still going to be kick-ass. But you said 4,500 at the Liberty Bowl. And
Yep. And
you're
I
going-
think the Showboats are going to win.
Okay. It's okay. Hey, I picked against Houston last week, but I'm
I
confident
like the boats.
they can probably do it. I'm taking one for the team. I'm going to take H-Town, especially since they're doing good right now. They're up 29-21 at half. Well, it was 29-21.
31-28.
31-28
Nice.
at half. So Jamie got the Showboat. I might be the only one picking Houston because I'm sure Adam's going to stick with his too. So
I'm sticking with my boats for sure, but I'm going 8,000.
all right, yeah, let's do attendances. So
1
Adam
o'clock,
says-
1 o'clock game in Memphis. Why not? What else
Eight-
you got going on?
all right, Jamie, what's your attendance for this one?
I said
Ace is looking at me like I'm
a
nuts.
measly 4,000.
4,000.
I got Bill Alexander bringing in the crowd, baby.
I'm gonna say the lowest attendance of all. I'm gonna say about 2,500.
It's very low.
There's gonna be a lot.
Like
of-
disrespectfully low.
$1, Bob. $1.
They're gonna end up
Yeah.
locating. They're gonna end up relocating to Nashville next year.
they're just gonna have to give. They're just gonna be giving away general admission tickets. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's how every game is. GA, because they never sell out unless you're in St. Louis in the lower bowl or Birmingham or.
Breaking
No.
news. The Michigan Panthers have traded wide receiver Marcus Sims to the Houston Roughnecks for offensive tackle Cam Carter.
What?
And then on top of that, Breland Speaks is being placed on IR.
So
I remember
what
hearing
did
about
Michigan do? They traded. Why did they traded up the?
Look, we're with an
Houston, why
inside
did they make
guru
this
right
not
now.
know?
He's going to get all the breaking news before we get it.
I do not know why that happened, especially because Cam Carter is one of our better offensive linemen. He can move around the offensive line. This is interesting.
Well, this will be the first weekend we have a doubleheader on Sunday, and it begins at 11 a.m. in Detroit. Back-to-back home games for the Panthers. Now they welcome in the San Antonio Brahmas.
Definitely the Panthers.
Panthers.
I'm
Until the
going
Brahmas show me
Panthers.
something, yeah.
Okay, so Panthers across the board, but now let's talk attendances for a
13K.
Sunday morning game. I know a lot of people are going to be going to church, so You're gonna say
13K.
13,000 for a Sunday morning game. That's not the Detroit Lions. Jamie, guess your attendance.
I think
Ford Field.
I think it's going to be at least 10,000 again.
Okay. Adam?
6,500.
for a Sunday game. Okay. I'm not hating that.
Ace?
I said 13K.
I said 13K. I'll say
San Antonio?
Yeah. No, Detroit.
It's in Detroit again?
Yeah.
Shoot.
You can always change it.
Oh my gosh. San Antonio is going 3 straight weeks without a home game. That's awful.
So I'm going 5,000
say
just because it's a
8,000.
Sunday morning.
Did somebody already say 8,000?
You're easy like Sunday morning.
8,000.
It's Palm Sunday, so I'm gonna say a low attendance, 5,000.
Palm Sunday.
Palm Sunday. I don't know how many. I'm sure there's a lot of Catholics in Detroit, so 5,000 for me. And then this is my opinion, the game of the week. The DC Defenders, St. Louis Battlehawks, battle of unbeaten. Someone's going 3-0. Someone's taking the first loss.
Defenders
but
and Battlehawks.
It's in the Dome.
Okay.
It's in the Dome. Their second home game. They showed up for that Brahmas game, like if it was the Rams all over again in the glory days. And now they're gonna show up again on a Sunday afternoon in St. Louis. So something's got to give. Who wins this one?
The Battlehawks are going to win, and the attendance is going to be 35,000.
Okay. I'm sure Jamie's going to stick with his Defenders.
I'm actually gonna go. Give me the Hawks, caca, baby, caca, and I think the attendance is 36,000.
Adam, are we going across the board, or are you going with DC?
I am not going with DC. I'm going with the Hawks. The highest scoring offense in the league against a defense that
I wish
trouble
they would
stopping the boats.
I wish
I am taking the Hawks.
I wish they could stick with the blue helmets. I'm not big on them silver ones.
And it's a late Sunday game. I'm going 22.
22,000?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Jamie, what was yours again?
36,000.
36,000. And Ace, you said 35.
35.
I'm going 40,000.
40. I mean, they averaged 40 last year, and some people said that they only got 32 yesterday because it was a later game. So having it in the afternoon, they're a 2-0 team. You know, like you said, they show up like they did for the Greatest Show on Turf back when they had the Rams. 40 is feasible. I could see it happening. I just think it's going to grow more gradually than that, and I think it goes from 32 to 35.
Now, I know they tarp off the whole nosebleed.
They do.
But I can't wait to see how much they can fill up when they play a Friday night in the Dome against the Renegades week 6. Because Friday night football,
will they open those seats if it does sell out more?
I think they could, yeah. But I think they could. I mean, I'm going to say, let's say they stay undefeated. The Renegades either stay undefeated or just have one loss. They go into a game like that. I could see close to 50,000 for a Friday night game because it's the
that weekend. Would break the all-time spring record.
Yeah, they would.
But this is the Battlehawks. Oh, St. Louis got. I know they got baseball, but
I don't think the Cardinals are even all that. The Cardinals ain't shit. The Blues, I don't even know if they even made the Stanley Cup playoffs or not. I ain't been keeping up with hockey lately. I've been watching a shitload of basketball, but I can tell you real quick, the Blues are fighting to get in the playoffs. They may make
Pirates. The Cardinals lost to the Pirates today, 7-4.
Yeah, your Yankees cost me money on FanDuel, so I lost another parlay. The torpedo bats didn't work against them damn Detroit Tigers. What the deuce?
The torpedo bat.
They got out-pitched.
Yeah. And then we got to play. And Argetty's out with a fucking broken, I think it was an arm or a hand against Seattle. So Argetty's out.
But like I said, the Yankees are still in first place in their division at 6-4 right now. So,
anyway, boys, save it for tomorrow.
Our regular scheduled program.
Well, I probably got to jump off, but
yeah, the second half's about to start, and
and Marcus needs to go watch the food.
I'm very confident
you boys are either popping champagne tonight or
crying yourself to sleep, crying in your beers.
I'm popping a bottle of water or Dr. Pepper. I don't drink on work nights.
There you go.
Gotcha.
They win it. I'll do all the drinking on Friday.
Nice.
All right. Ace, I know you got to go. One more time, tell the folks how to get you, buddy. Like I said, we do this show. You're more than welcome to pop on. Just I'll message you. I'll message you all the time. It doesn't matter. And you can always say no. It doesn't matter.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at AceUFM, on Instagram at Ace_UFM, and then on YouTube, it's United Football Media. We have shows covering most of the teams. We have a Monday wrap-up show recapping every week called Tell Me About It. And, man, we just got you covered. Like, we love spring football, and we love interacting with other fans. So come check us out. Like I said, sometimes I get you some cool insider info. So that's a fun thing.
That breaking trade tonight.
Yes, sir.
I'm kind of interested to hear like why they did it too.
Oh, I don't get it. I don't know. I'll try and find out. I'll talk.
I'm sure
I talk to
will.
CJ on Wednesdays. So
I'll be listening.
Yeah.
Or reading. How about that? How about that?
Thank
you, buddy, for coming on, man.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you. Always nice to meet someone else who struggles with the Roughnecks the way I do. And then Jamie, always nice to see you, man.
I'll have to keep up with you. If I ever make it to a Roughnecks game, I'll give you a heads up.
Yeah, hit me up. All right. Well,
already. Marcus, how do people get you?
I'm on Twitter at MarcusLee337. Show coming soon on this network, On the Go, where I cover all things Houston to New Orleans, from the 504 to the 713 or the 337 or the 225. I follow that at On the Go _TXLA. That's my show, my solo show I'm going to have on Drive to the Top Productions. That's coming soon. I mean, I know I said I was going to eventually start it after the Final Four and everything was over with. So, and I know Evan's still recovering. So once I get that intro video, all gas, no brakes.
Gotcha. JB.
You guys can follow me, yours truly, at Bill's Chat 1 at Bill's Mafia Chat, and also at Jamie Malloy at DJ Dog Tags on X. You also can follow me at thestadiumrant.com and forkball.com, where I write about all sports. Thank you guys very much for listening, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Driving the Top Productions. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, hit that like button, and ring the bell for notifications. I also will be Joe Daly and I tomorrow will be back live at 8:00 on this platform Eastern time, hosting our Subway Conversation baseball chat podcast. So be sure to tune into that here on Driving the Top Productions at 8:00, and also our open mic show at 9:00. So for more content on Driving to the Top Productions, please visit our YouTube page, Twitch stream, Facebook stream, X stream, wherever you consume your podcast. I'm Jamie Malloy, and this has been Monday night UFL on Driving to the Top Productions. And thank you guys for listening, and don't forget to subscribe. As always, we're Driving to the Top.
Excellent. Anyway, at Sports Talking It on Twitter. You can find me at Driving to the Top on Twitter, at Hammer Time Pit, at Ben Boats. Those are the pages I look at. And yeah, that's all we got. Ace, once again, thanks for popping on, man. And everybody have a good night, guys.
See you guys. Thank you for having me.
I'll see y'all tomorrow for